सर बताइए इंडिया इज़ बॉलीवुड ड्रिवन और क्रिकेट ड्रिवन आप you come from a family wherein you had Bollywood as well as cricket. Tell me how tough decision was it decision making कि Bollywood में जाना है या cricket में जाना है?
There was no decision to make because I can't play cricket very well, um, which embarrasses me to say that. But I can play good cricket, but not world class cricket. And there's no point, I think. It's been, um, the last two men from my family uh, have been captains of India, two generations. So it's been great fun if I could have. And I would have been quite cool also, and I've got lots of ads, and I'm sure. Wonderful romantic notion. But no, can't, not good enough to play for India, so there's no option. So that, one was looking for a career and what to do. And in those days, I don't know, just film seemed like an opportunity and a chance to do something because of what my mother has achieved. So certain doors were open. And so that's where I went.
How important for you as an actor was Hum Tum success since it being your solo project?
From a commerce point of view, there's many sides to being an actor. There's, the way you tell a story, how you yourself feel about your job, and then there's how other people feel about how viable you are, which is a commercial angle. And that's also really important for my self-respect and for all sorts of things. So it was very important that this film, had it flopped, then I don't think anyone would have given me a solo movie for quite a long time, not a very serious one anyway. Whereas now, they can. So that makes a big difference, even if you do two hero films, which I'd love to do, because I think they're fun to watch and more energy on screen sometimes and things. At least you know that independently also you're worth something um, financially to the project, and that is what the business somewhere, fortunately or unfortunately, is about.
Tell me how things have changed after Dil Chahta Hai for you. I mean, the way people look at you, or the way people approach you, be it media, be it people from the film
Everyone
industry.
keeps linking this directly to Dil Chahta Hai, which I think has got a lot to do with it. You're right, because Farhan cast me in that movie, and then Karan cast me in his movie because of Farhan, and Adi cast me in his movie because of Karan. So actually, it's all thanks to Farhan. But I had done films before, like Hum Saath Saath Hain and Kache Dhage and even Ye Dil Lagi and all. So for me, I think it's been one long growth. Of course, Dil Chahta Hai changed urban cinema slightly, I feel. It was the first time that people actually tried new looks. I think, I don't know, actually some actors have always done it. If you think of Sanjay Dutt movies and things, people have always, but for me, it was the first time that we changed our hair and all these things. So I don't know though.
Tell me, for a movie, we hear actors saying that movie different है, role different है. तो जैसे आपने कहा look जो रहती है वो वही similar रहती है, पर हम तो में दिल चाहता है में आपका different look भी नज़र आया है.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it कि
Well, basically, I think I'd done movies in the past which have had the same look. So now I learned from my mistakes and felt that you should look. And then I had like 5 releases that year, LOC and all these films. So I thought it's important to try and look. It really increases your spans. I mean, if you're doing ads, like we're doing Lay's chips and Pepsi, so the idea is to look different. Then you can, otherwise you get a little, you know. So it's important. On the other hand, people say that we don't like change very much. I mean, the actors like, Mr. Bachchan and all who look the same in every film. And nobody wants them to look very different. Actually, that's not true. Even Mr. Bachchan these days changes his look from film to film with colored hair and different wigs and things like this. Earlier, people used to be a little. Was it Anil Kapoor, I think, who first cut his hair? Or Sanjay Dutt and all these guys used to constantly change. So I don't think anything's new. Nothing's new. I think maybe gel and products. I don't know. What's the question?
I was talking to you about different looks, as in the actors say कि ये role different है वो, पर जो look रहता है वो काफ़ी similar रहता है.
Yeah, there's. I think as an actor, you're part of a story. You're telling a story, right? So the more you use to tell that story, the easier it is actually for you to do. So one should get into that's the fun, like this is what the clothes are. So if the films are similar, then the clothes are similar. But if you do interesting stuff, then you can really dress your. I mean, that's a great thing about American movies.
ये बताइए कि क्या comedy is one thing that comes naturally to you, that we've seen you in roles wherein there's a bit humor to your character and people have loved it, or there's another Saif that people don't know as yet, जैसे एक हसीना थी में हमने देखा. Talk us through about that.
Yes, but I think I'm quite lucky because there's that comic kind of side, and there's also this slightly more serious Ek Hasina Thi kind of, and I think I can do both as easily. But I get worried when people say, "Are you funny?" and this is great and it's easy, and because it's very difficult. Comedy is like you need to have amazing writers. Number one, you cannot make, and it's really stressful when people give you then a not funny scene and you're supposed to be funny. Then you try. But the idea is to try and be serious when everything around you is ridiculously funny. So Karan Johar and Farhan Akhtar and even Kunal are very good at writing that sort of stuff. But in all fairness, I mean, the roles in Dil Chahta Hai and Karo Now are much funnier than Hum Tum. And those are seriously hysterical situations. I mean, so Karan Johar and Farhan are great comic writers. This Hum Tum is not a comic character. It's got humor in it, and it's more smile and laugh, but it's not hold your stomach and collapse at the situation. It's more of a romantic film. It's more of a hero's role than the other two films, maybe. Actually, even Kalona is more. Actually, I don't know. I'm in
So
trouble.
we hear that you getting into production as well. I mean, what's happening on those?
Well, not seriously. I mean, I'd like to look at that option, at one point, and with someone maybe like Ramu and I have been talking about it for a long time. But I think the reason I would want to get into it is just to make small films that are really slightly offbeat. But I like the concept of making films efficiently, with a like-minded unit. Like we worked with so many different units. So something a little quiet, small, efficient, artistic, where you have control over what kind of promo, what kind of publicity. That's the fun of making movies. And at the same time, hopefully work for, Dharma Productions, Yash Raj Films, Ram Gopal Verma. I'm very happy. The three. So you do a love story and do an Ek Hasina Thi type of movie. At least that's where I am now. Let's see.
Sir, what do you think about the camps being formed? जैसे आपने कहा Ram Gopal Verma camp, you have Karan Johar's camp. Is it impossible to have again a Shah Rukh or Govinda, because you have set directors, set producers working with set actors and all that.
So
I mean, do you think it's impossible to have someone like Govinda, or a superstar coming from Vasai or Vidar or something like that?
What do you mean? Is it possible to have? I mean, he is that. He is a superstar from Vasai.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That happened, but now since you have set people working with set established actors, do you think it's possible
For other people to get a chance to work
Yeah.
with them? But they kind of do monopolize slightly, don't they? But that's the whole competitive nature of the job. I mean, once you get comfortable with working with people, why would you want to? A known devil is any day better than an unknown. No? I mean, why do you want to? If it's working, why change it? And with Shah Rukh Khan, it's working in spades. I mean, it's not working; it's ruling. So why would you want to change that? It doesn't make sense. The kind of budget of films that these guys make, not everyone can cover that cost of a 35 crore film or something. It's not. It's a large commercial side to this business aside from emotions and values. I mean, there's some basic facts. I mean, there's hardly any other hero in town who can guarantee that kind of return for the Chopras or the Joys, you know. I mean, if them together need that to you know, do that. So, and I mean, there are camps for sure, but I've worked with everybody. And I've been, you know, asked to work for practically everybody. Maybe not as their main hero, but so I don't know about camps. I think you choose what you're more comfortable with, and if you get used to a certain thing, then why change it? That's but it does make it. But then there's no fixed rules. In answer to your question, you know, there are people like Ram Gopal Verma, so many different people who would happily introduce new guys, and nothing lasts forever. But there is a time when people can. So at the moment, certain stars are ruling, but that won't be forever. And then someone else will come in, and maybe some guy from Virar or Nasik or something will become the next superstar. I think I came from a slightly English-speaking background compared to what you should have when you do a movie. And I don't think I spoke Hindi that well. Many things. My idea of a cool guy is very different from the Hindi film idea of a cool guy. There's a difference. So I think it's been a journey and it's been learning. A lot of people have been very kind and given me lots of chances. The audience has been very supportive. So, I mean, you just keep making mistakes until you make fewer mistakes.
So tell us, what kind of movies or roles are you looking at, since, you know, people now are okay with the fact that, okay, fine, सिर्फ सैफ है movie में और कोई ज़रूरत नहीं, because he is a star, he is an actor.
I have no idea. I think if you keep saying things like that, the responsibility goes up and you have no idea what to do. But like I said, maybe something a little darker, like more like Ek Hasina Thi, or just, I don't know, you know it. See, when you choose a movie, the whole concept has to grab you. Who's the producer, who's the director, what's the script, what's the title, what's the publicity like. Same reason you go and see a film. You see it, you say, oh, you know. It's not always the star. You know, there's some big name in some movie and you're like, I don't want to see this movie. Sometimes there's no name and there's something about the film that you want to see. And sometimes it's the name and the production and the film, and everything's huge then, if you get it right, you know. Brad Pitt in Troy. You know, Nicolas Cage in Bringing Out the Dead, I don't want to see. Some I don't want to see that movie, I don't know why. So, same way you sign a movie, or you want to do a movie, if it just, something has to excite you on a concept level.
We missed you during the release of the film.
Yeah.
What was it like? How's your leg now? And
My leg's fine. I was in London on holiday. My daughter has summer holidays then. So I was very happy and away. But Hindi films become completely international in terms of the audiences are everywhere. Wherever there's Indians, there's an audience for us. So in London, there was lots of work also. There were publicity, organized interviews like this happening there, which was great. In fact, it makes you think that you can almost live anywhere. Now, you don't have to live in Bombay.
fans would follow.
No, work, you can come and work. Or if your work is in Amsterdam or you're shooting a film abroad, or you can come to Bombay, do a movie. It's not, I'm just saying that, you know, with the electronic kind of communication and things like this, it's not necessarily required living in Bombay. And I don't know if I like living in Bombay in summer at least. I don't know if I like living in Lokhandwala.
Okay. Sir, tell us, as a brother, how supportive or how protective are you of Suha?
Yeah, I'm not caricaturely obsessive or protective. I mean, that's ridiculous. She's very intelligent. She's got a mind of her own. I trust her judgment. I think she's, you know, very cool. And she's sharp. She's hardworking. and she's got her take. She's artistic. She wants to do a Bengali movie, and it looks quite funky. Um, and she's done like really well. She's learnt Bengali and means something. It's appealed to her sensibilities, and that's I think the kind of movies she wants to do. I don't think she wants to necessarily be slotted like a lot of commercial sort of heroines. I think she's perhaps more excited by what Tabu's done than um, someone else, for example. So, which I think is great. So I think she'll be fine. So I'm supportive. I mean, I'm always there, and she's my sister. But I don't tell her what to do very often.
Sir, tell us, when you started your career and now she's starting hers, what difference or similarity do you see, or
Okay. Between her and me.
yeah, as in like as you said that
We
she
get very
knows what
excited
she
about it,
wants.
and you can't stop talking about it when you're new. You're like, what should I do? Should I do this movie? Should I not do that movie? And you love really bad scripts also sometimes. Someone narrates to you some script about, and someone narrated a script to her about a guy who gets stressed out with the system and takes revenge by turning into an angry young man. And she thought it was a very original and a new idea. So I had to tell her that this has been done to death, and you shouldn't do it because, so that things like that.
Thank you so much.
Sure.